Well, I'm sitting here researching a lot of data for today's show, and just in the middle of it, I just decided to pull the microphone over and hit record because I can pull up 1,000 different numbers on how we are being fucked through taxes and a million different examples. And we'll go into some of it here shortly, but I really don't think that all the little details are what is super important right now, because what is super important is most Americans are now seeing that their tax dollars are being taken from them and then either fraudulently being given to certain organizations or being spent by government entities and organizations that is just pissing the money away. I mean, it's close to fraud as the Somali shit, but they have all their I's dotted and their T's crossed, so you can't hem them up. But when you got people that are like head of the homeless committee making $400K a year, and the homeless problem is getting worse, it starts to feel like fraud, would it not? I mean, if people hated my jiu-jitsu academy and people just kept quitting more and more often and our numbers were on a continuous decline, but then our books show that we're making more money, someone would have to be like, hold on a second, something doesn't make sense. And that is why the free market corrects itself, because data that trends in a manner that is not sustainable is a self-correcting error. If it cannot sustain itself, it ceases to exist. But we've allowed the government to do things backwards for so long that their performance both drops and what they get paid to do that continuously goes up. And we just keep fucking falling for it, and we keep fucking sitting back and letting all of these motherfuckers rob us. The government is robbing us, all right? There is no other way to look at it. It's funny because we're getting robbed a million different ways, but it was the Zin. It was the Zin tax that really pushed me over the edge. And I think we've talked about this a time or two on some previous episodes, but we're taking a little deeper dive today. The Zin tax, specifically targeting nicotine pouches. Oh, because we don't want those to appeal to kids. That's what they said. That's why they're going to tax it, because we don't want those. Like, how much fucking longer are the citizens of this state and half the fucking states out there, this applies to everyone, but how much longer are we just going to allow these people to manipulate us under the guise of we're helping the kids? Show me what kids are in some type of turmoil over Zin pouches. I mean, I don't know all the data on if there's any studies on what having a fucking pouch of Zin in your lip for this many hours starts to do or any of that shit. But I do know it's better than smoking cigarettes, and it's better than chewing tobacco because you are removing all of the carcinogens and the toxins. And now it's just a nicotine shot, basically. I'm looking at these low nicotine pouches. The guy sent me some, 9 milligrams. So they're for men. And I want to start carrying them at the gym, just so I can basically be part of a black market smuggling operation for nicotine. Come do something about it. Send the goons. Like, you got me. That's what you're going to fucking send your goons for. I'm not paying a nicotine tax to you, Bob Ferguson. Dude, fuck you. And when I run against you one day and beat you, pull that fucking line right there and save it. So yeah, we're just letting these motherfuckers. Go look at the sponsors of the nicotine bill. Go look at them. You can Google their names, and then you can go to their Instagram, and they are weak, obese, pathetic motherfuckers, dude. Big fat bitches, double chin, Jabba the Hutt looking bitch, saying fucking I have to pay them if I want to put a nicotine pouch in my mouth. Fuck you. And we all just fucking allow these cocksuckers to do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. At what point do things change? You know, it's absolutely preposterous to me that we allow the weakest people in our society to just fucking bully us into submission and take half our shit. So this is my question. This is my question to the elite class who got voted in, by the way. There's nothing elite about you. You got voted in, and now you think you're something, you think you're part of a ruling class. Let me ask you this. When you combined all of our taxes, I just did a little like rundown. So I just gave them an overview of a business owner that grosses $400,000 a year, own a couple properties outside of Seattle, blah, blah, blah. And the first thing is federal taxes, 22 to 26%. So you're looking at $90,000 to $105,000 right off the bat. Self-employment tax or payroll, but I don't have a payroll. So now it's self-employment, 26 to 30K. Washington business and operating tax, B&O tax, $6,000 a year. City B&O, if applicable, $2,000 a year. Sales tax based on an average of what you can consume, $15,000 a year, and that is a conservative number. Property taxes based on owning 3 properties, and the details I gave on them, $16,000 to $20,000 a year. Washington payroll programs, even if you hate them, family medical leave, 1.13%, and Washington Cares long-term care. We're paying 0.58%. So for a person making $400,000 a year, $4,300. And then capital gains, God forbid you trade and make some money. And when it's all said and done, an average person making $400,000 a year would pay $167 per year in taxes, which is 41.75%. So 41% right now. Are we going to change anything when it becomes 50%? Because for a lot of you, it already is 50%. What about 60? Oh, yeah, that's probably when I'll stand up because that's like way more than half. They're getting way more than half of my shit. That's when I'll stand up. Really? We're at 41.75% right now, and we're not standing up? Are we fucking serious? 41.75%, and we are not saying, go fuck yourselves. I understand it's the frog in the pot analogy, and we were born into this system, and we've been conditioned, and it is what it is. I also get you don't want to be martyred and just stand up and say, fuck you, and have goons kick your door down. There's an element of fear around those kind of things. But my question is, what is your number? When the government takes half of your shit, is that your number? What is your number when you say, fuck you, send the goons? And here's the thing, guys. I used to be on the team of the goons, and I was a standout. Like you go to the Marshal Service, you go to the SRT team, guys, and you see how much more fit and capable they are. I was in the upper echelons of the goon teams, all right? Serving federal warrants. Guys that actually knew how to do their job and shoot, move, and communicate. And I'm here to tell you, it's a fraction of a fucking percent. It's a fraction of a percent of guys that fucking know how to do their job and are good at it. And here's the other side of that coin. The most capable guys, the guys that are on your SRT teams, your SWAT teams, your HURT teams, they feel like how we feel. They hate all this bullshit. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to defy orders when the time comes, because we see most men will not defy orders when the time comes. It's shocking. But regardless, my point in bringing this up, send the goons, because I know who your goons are. They're fat fucking pussies. That's who most of them are. What is your number that send the goons? Is it 80%? Yeah, dude. They increase tax to 80%. I'll fight to the death for it. Would you really? But here's the thing, guys. If we don't stand up and say, fuck you at some point, your children will be taxed at 80%, and they will have to fucking risk bloodshed to turn shit around. Eventually, someone has to turn this around. Like, the republic is lost. It's already lost. Was it John Adams that said that too? One of the founding fathers said that fairly recently after the republic was founded. But that's my thing. What is your number? And this is what I want to ask these motherfuckers. Bob Ferguson, direct question to you. What would be a reasonable amount of taxation before your citizens revolt? Is there a number that you would expect your citizens to revolt if you implemented it? What percentage would you be scared that people would start revolting? And you know what he would say? I already know what he would say. oh, I don't think any type of violence is ever a reasonable solution for financial issues. I just don't think that that's a viable option, regardless of numbers and percentages and whatnot. So there you have it, guys. Their answer is a long way of saying, we wouldn't expect you guys to revolt even if we took 100% of everything you have. And if he wants to have a different answer, please say it. I would love to know. Hey, Bob Ferguson, do you think if the government was seizing 95% of my wealth, that I would have a right to stand up for myself? Do you think citizens have that right? Well, we already know his answer. They're always diminishing your ability to stand up for yourself by keeping you poor and by disarming you. And they're playing the long game. Oh, this is grandfathered in. Like, does that make me feel better because I already have a fucking gigantic arsenal? Does it make me feel better now that I can't buy them anymore because I already have mine? Well, there's a part of me that's like, yeah, I already have mine. Thank God, right? But what about the next generation of fucking fighting men? What about them? They can't buy an AR-15 here in Washington anymore. And the security details of all these motherfuckers in power are filled with AR-15s. And you know how I know? Because I've been on all of those details personally. Protecting Supreme Court justices, protecting federal judges, protecting high-profile figures. All those people are surrounded by AR-15s. Surrounded by them. Wonder why that would be. Maybe they are a good tool for protecting yourself and your family. They understand that. If they didn't understand it, they wouldn't have those guns. But regardless, this isn't a gun episode. This is a tax episode. And they want to take all your money and disarm you. And I would love to know if any leftists out there, and fuck you, some of you Republicans too, that were on the sponsorship of the Zin tax. Fuck you. Like, there's no clearer way. Go fuck yourself. Everybody fucking is sick and tired of weak men like you that just fucking pander to what the machine wants you to do. I'm just going to do what the machine wants me to do. Well, all of your constituents are fucking disgusted with you. All of them. You know, what's crazy is, I mean, I don't know if we keep voting them in or not, or if it's literally, if the whole voting thing is just a bunch of charades to keep us happy. I don't doubt that at this point either. It's fucking insane. Oh, so yeah, we're a little fired up today. A little angry Anderson, but it's all about taxes. And we have to realize if nothing changes, nothing changes. So what are we going to do? We've said on the show a lot, by the bullet or by the ballot. There's a part of me that thinks, I don't even want to say this. Okay, this is how I'm going to preface this. This is an idea running around my head. I'm not committing to anything because once I commit to it, then I have to do it. But I can share ideas running around my head. I was thinking after I get back from the row and my fucking mind, body, and spirit has been stripped down to its core, fuck, mate, I wonder if I should jump into politics. And then I immediately just met with like, ugh, fuck, gross, dude. And it is. And those emotions are real. Ugh, fuck, and gross are all real emotions that should be applied to politics because it's just the weakest, scummiest fucking vermin that can't make it in the real world. They're not capable. They just enter this little system and then they just fucking take like a fucking leech. That's what most people in politics are. And you know it. Ah, fuck you guys. To enter that, I've said it before, I don't want to enter their game and meet them on their fucking terms, right? But what if there's somebody out there that could be the guy to bridge the gap between the two sides and try and bring everybody together with one simple understanding. These people are here to fuck us. They want to take all our money, control us, and then trick you into thinking that they have your best interests in mind, and then keep everybody divided over a bunch of trivial shit. And it's like, hey, listen, I get that you're pro-abortion and I'm not. I get that. Let's hash all of our differences out after we get these fucking leeches that are just robbing us out of the fucking picture. At least allow us to start there so we actually have a fucking budget and funds and means to actually govern. And then we can start looking at fucking all the disagreements that we have as citizens. But we have to come together and understand these motherfuckers are just doing whatever the fuck they want. You know, Bob Ferguson implemented so many new taxes this year. So many new fucking taxes this year. So, luxury vehicle taxes increased this year. Nicotine and tobacco taxes, well, they fucking went up 95%. Transportation tax increases in vehicle registration, gas, and rental car services. The plastic bag tax increased. Like, fuck, dude. Excise taxes have increased. A millionaire's tax is being discussed. It hasn't been yet signed into law. There's another thing. It literally says in the Washington State Constitution that you can't tax income. It literally says that. There's also an RCW, which makes it illegal. So you just have the legislation change it, and now it's not illegal anymore. Guys, are you seeing what's happening? They literally have people that are able to control how they legislate shit and change RCWs. And we're just going to sit back and let them fucking do it. And they're going to change the RCW. And then, but here's the thing. To get an amendment on the Constitution, you need, I believe it's a 3/4 public vote. So you know how they're going to do it? They're going to change the verbiage to allow for income tax. And the way they're going to sell it to the people is what they're already doing. You won't get targeted unless you make more than $1 million a year. Those evil millionaires. Well, first of all, $1 million a year in Seattle, I'm telling you, you're not balling. You're doing good, obviously, but I don't give a fuck how little you make or how much you make. Flat percentage, period, dude. It's common sense. It's common sense. People that strive harder and make more and like they should have to pay more of their fair share. They are, dummy. If it's a flat percentage, no. No, because they're making more, they should actually have to pay more of a percentage too. That's what you fucking people are saying. What a great way to incentivize growth and entrepreneurship and greatness. The better you do, the more we're going to fuck you. And people just say, yeah, okay, you can do that. Where do we go? Well, where we go is somebody going into government that doesn't give a fuck, dude. Like straight up doesn't give a fuck and will recklessly slash what we're spending out of the state budget. That's what we fucking need. And some people's feelings are going to get hurt and a bunch of dumb programs are going to get shut down. And it wasn't our fucking job to pay for them in the first place. Like the fucking Somali daycare fraud. Did any of you guys even know that amount of government funding was going to daycares? Every fucking time I took my kid to a preschool or daycare, I fucking had to pay a bunch of money. I didn't even know it was an option. And guys, we'll get into this in a little bit. I don't think using a percentage, and this is where the conversation gets weird, right? Because some people are like, fuck no, it's not the government's job to do anything like that, right? This is where I start to look at some aspects of social services. Our most impoverished, our least successful. Do we want to pour some resources into legitimately helping those people find a path out of that? Could be, I don't know if it's trade schools or what it is, but those kids in the hood that are 5th generation bangers, do we want to allocate some of our collective resources to change the trajectory? Or do we just say, fuck it, if you can't fucking figure it out, fuck you? And I'm not saying that's the worst answer in the world, right? But I also have to be honest, I came up middle class and was able to crawl a little bit above middle class. And I'm still crawling, right? Seeing where that journey takes me. But if I came from the fucking hood in Compton, just being honest, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at. And so I do think we could have an aspect of empathy. But here's the thing, that only give opportunity. That's it. You would only give opportunity. You would never give, like, handouts don't work. Handouts are not empowering to people. Handouts are actually disempowering because you are now becoming someone's bitch and you're dependent on what they're willing to give you. You imagine that? Your success, your ability to thrive, your ability to even live is dependent on your master's decisions that day, your master's mood. And that's where a lot of people find themselves. And that is manipulated into coming from a place of compassion. It's not. It's coming from a place of control, because now they control all you motherfuckers because you're too lazy to take control of your own life. And then they just lock you into that fucking prison. And now you're a slave to the system. What if we use those resources that we're all going towards fucking SNAP and welfare and all of the shit that you know is being abused, right? You know all that shit's being abused. I am not saying like when people come up on hard circumstances, there's not any eligible reason for people to sometimes get some assistance. But it can't just be a way of life. It can't be an expectation. Like my sister bought a mobile home park somewhere down south. And she said like 100% of its residents are all on fucking, on welfare. And none of them work. And she said, and they're all able-bodied people too. Like, and that's just how it is. How many places across America is that just how it is? So we're paying for everybody to live and everybody's cool with that. You see what that's doing? It's disempowering people and keeping them slaves. You could reallocate that money to empower people and teach them something of use and teach them a skill that can actually help them get somewhere one day. But we're not willing to do that. And why not? Because that goes against what this fucking system is built to do. And so, yeah, when I get back from the row, there's a part of me that thinks it might be time to enter that arena and beat them at their own game. Because I just don't know if they've had anybody that is willing to just be fucking real and not intimidated by all their bullshit. And, we're going to dig into his past. And we're going to see that he said the word faggot on his podcast. Do you think that that's an appropriate thing to, I say, see, you're up here fucking worrying about the word faggot while you're trying to tax our citizens at 41%. Nobody cares about the word faggot. They care that half of their income is stolen from you, motherfucker. Like, sooner or later, it's going to get to that. It has to. And, fuck, man, there's a part of me that's like, yeah, and it's supposed to be you. And again, fuck, man. Jenny was immediately like, wait, what? You said no. You said you'd never do that. Why would you talk about this? I said, well, I'm just talking about it. I'm not committing to anything. But, yeah, if we don't get somebody that's just real, real, that's it. What you get is what you see. What they say is what they mean. Love them or hate them, that's who they are. If you can't get someone like that, you're fucked. And we haven't had anybody like that. And well, as long as I can remember, I'm 45 years old. I remember Washington politics just always being fucking a greasy, slimy cesspool. Fuck, dude. I heard Bob Ferguson say yesterday, he's like, he literally ran on not increasing taxes, and then he increased taxes. And he said, well, listen though, first of all, there was a budget proposal for $18 billion. I turned that down. The second one was $12 billion. I also turned that down. And then I went with the $9 billion one, which is still an 8% increase in spending. You're increasing spending. That's not cutting. You're increasing spending, and then you're acting like you're doing something good because you didn't increase spending more. Like, that's starting to sound like an abused wife relationship. Hey, you're lucky I only hit you once today. I thought about hitting you twice. Okay, yeah. You told us you'd cut it, and then you only increased it by 8%. But you're right, because you were thinking about increasing it by more, and then you decided to only increase it by 8. Thank you, master. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. Play your fucking word salad games. Fuck you. That's where everybody's at. And the people that are saying, fuck you, they're real people that get up and fucking work. They're fucking blue collar, working class people that are just sick and fucking tired of your word salad, lying fucking bullshit. Fuck you, dude. And your criminal, fucking arrogant, smug behavior is coming to an end. It is. You're up there lying, and you're up there fucking saying, I was watching him say, well, well, it was going to be 18, and then I rejected that one. And then he smiled like a little, just this little giggly fucking weasel face. Like, bro, don't get up there and fucking giggle at everybody's faces while you fuck them, dude. Everybody sees you for what you are, a rat. A gross, slimy, weak little rat is what you are. And everybody's tired of you. So, are we just going to get taxed to oblivion? Or are men eventually going to say, we're not going to do that anymore? That's the theme of the week. All right? And you're considered a criminal if you were to say, no, at some point, I think we should probably push back against government overreach. That's a criminal thing to say, even though it says it in the fucking Constitution, even though it says it in the Declaration of Independence. We are expected to push back against tyranny. But if you push back on tyranny at 41% of your income, you're a criminal. Well, of course you're a criminal, because these people control the fucking laws. You're always going to be a criminal. George Washington was a criminal. Thomas Paine was a fucking propagandist criminal. He wrote Common Sense, and it started turning people against the king. And the fucking people that sympathized with the crown hated that document. They hated it. They thought it was the stupidest thing, encouraging people to not stand with the crown. And you want to know one of the most interesting facts about the early stages of the Revolutionary War is that people weren't even fighting for independence. It wasn't like, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to start a free nation. Let's attack England. No, it was literal pushback, and with nothing more in mind than fucking leave me alone and get the fuck out of my life. A lot of the colonists literally said, like, we just wanted to go back to how it was in the not too distant past. Before what? Before government regulations, taxes. You're going to house our soldiers. You're going to pay this. You're going to pay that. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. Fuck you. Push back. And guess what? Once people started fighting and it started turning into what it started turning into, that is when people were like, okay, we need to separate from these motherfuckers and do our own thing. And that's what humans have been doing forever, right? You get fucking subjugated enough that you eventually try and fucking change your circumstances. But here's the interesting thing about the American Revolution. I don't know if this is 100% accurate, but I believe it is that all other like major conflicts preceding the American Revolution were military versus military, or government versus government, or even like, I'm not saying there isn't like, like the fucking wildlings in the woods and the Vikings and all that stuff, right? But it was organization versus organization, fighting over resources, land, religion, etc., right? This is the first time a group of people are like, no, fuck our own government. We're a different thing now. Fuck you. It's not a leader from a different organization or a different country saying, hey, fuck your government. We're coming in and we're going to kill them. Your own people just saying, hey, fuck you. We're starting our own government. It's a powerful thing. It's a really powerful thing. But again, that wasn't the birth of the revolution wasn't from that. It was from just pushback. There's actually a PBS just released, I think it's like an 8-part special on the revolution. And me and Jenny are like halfway through it. So if you want to go watch something of value, something that's interesting, go check that out. All right. Well, I don't even know what else we have to talk about today. You guys can see I'm pretty fed up with the system, and nobody's doing anything about it. And when nobody's doing anything about it, at some point you probably just have to look in the mirror and say, oh, it's because it's supposed to be you, dummy. And the thought of going and beating them at their own game, there is a part of it that's like, yeah, that would be even better than a revolt, right? A revolution of the people by just empowering and showing them that it's like, dude, these motherfuckers do not have your best interests in mind. Simple as that. They don't have your best interest in mind. You know, the Seattle or the Washington State schools have declined massively in their test scores for both math and English. And for those of you that are interested, go look at it. I shared it on my Instagram a day or two ago. While the budget increased over that same period of time, 110%. 110% increase in our education budget, and scores are plummeting rapidly. How in the fuck could that be? How in the fuck is that even possible? We're giving the most resources we've ever given, and we're doing the worst we've ever done. There's supposed to be a direct correlation to giving more resources to something to its improvement. Very simple. That's why you give resources, but not in the government. Like, again, could any private entity just fucking be like, oh, you know what? We're gonna really plus up the budget over here, and you do, and then that department performed the worst that it had ever performed ever. Things are probably going to change right now, right? Well, not in the government, because this trend has been happening since 2013. Increased spending, decrease in test scores. Increased spending, decrease in test scores. The budget goes up, people get dumber. The budget goes up, people get dumber. At what point do we say, hey, I know this sounds crazy. Way back here in the back, I got a question. Spending goes up, people are getting dumber, and that's the trend has been happening for 13 years now. Do you think maybe we should change something? Fuck. Oh my God, dude. Well, what would you change? Well, obviously, I'd have to do a comprehensive analysis and talk to everybody you have to talk to, and talk to teachers, talk to parents, find fucking expectations, find problems. But you want to know one problem? I'll tell you one problem right now. If our state taxes are funding people's educations for the public education systems, why aren't they the same across the state? How come if I live in Kirkland, I can expect a better school, a better, higher level of education than if I live on Rainier Avenue in South Seattle? And one of my jiu-jitsu students was talking to me about this, Adam, who's been on the podcast before. He's like, man, that would be one thing to fix right out of the gate, is that I don't care where you live. And I don't know how they allocate resources. Is it like average household income? Is it is it based on just populations? I don't know. Area, like square mile area? I don't know. But what you do know, it's very clear that not all high schools are created equal. Is that fair to say? How about everybody gets the same shot? But I'll tell you what, before we go into that, half of the fucking people working in that system are not even educators anymore. They're indoctrinators. And they're just there to spread whatever propaganda their masters tell them to spread. Like, fuck, dude. Like, that's real. That's real. You got fucking 28-year-old women that think they need to teach your son how to be a faggot. That's real. And they're getting paid by you, the taxpayer. And now they've taken it so far that if you say, hey, that doesn't seem reasonable to have a man wearing a bikini reading to our kindergartners. I don't quite feel good about that. Fucking racist, homophobe, fucking piece of shit, dude. That's real, guys. I don't care if you were left or right. When I was a kid in the 80s, I don't care if you voted for fucking Bush or Dukakis. I think that's who was teamed up against each other. Maybe Dukakis was with Reagan. I can't remember. But regardless, like, my grandparents were Democrats. A lot of that generation was. None of them wanted to watch mentally disabled men put bikinis on and read to children. And now you have to accept that. Or you're all these things, and it's all part of the fucking system. And they got teachers that are pushing that now. Teachers. Like, fuck, man. I think if you pull your kids out from the public education system, you shouldn't have to pay into it. That'd probably be a good place to start. Because why the fuck should I have to pay into it if I'm not partaking? Or at a minimum, since you're forcing me to partake in something else, yeah, I get to withdraw my funding. But they never set anything up to withdraw your funding from anything. This is a one-way fucking ticket until you're fucking completely controlled and completely broke. I would like to see the statistics on tyrannical governments loosening the chains on people because the people were really getting upset. Has that ever happened once in the history of planet Earth? Enough of them got together and said they don't want this, i.e. voting, so we're not going to do that to them now. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I mean, fuck, dude. They wanted to prosecute Trump over wanting to look into the voting fraud stuff down there in Georgia. And now they're like, yeah, there actually was a couple 100,000 ballots that were unaccounted for. And it's like, well, we should go to Venezuela and abduct their leader. And then on the way back, we should abduct half of our leaders too. And guys, I'm not fucking, I do know that my personal friends that are from Venezuela are fucking elated by it. I mean, you guys heard Luis on the podcast talk about how personal friends of him been killed, shot during protests. Like, that dude is clearly a piece of shit. And if taking a piece of shit out makes sense, I'm not totally against that. I am against fucking long drug out wars with a bunch of bullshit ROEs that last 20 years. That seems pretty fucking stupid. I partook in 2 of those. And now you look back and say, for what, right? That seems pretty foolish. But is there a time for regime change? Well, if we look at our record of regime change, it's not very good. We don't seem to cause more stability in the world. I think it's safe to say we've caused a massive amount of instability. But again, hindsight's 2020, right? So it's easy to look back and say that, but here's the thing. I don't know what the true motivation for this regime change was. Some people are saying it's oil, and Trump goes, yeah, and we're going to take their oil, which is pretty awesome. Like, there's a part of me that's like, he's saying the quiet part out loud. You got to kind of appreciate that, right? Some people are saying it's a Zionist move to have a Israeli-friendly government in that region of the world. And I don't know enough about that to say if that's true or if that's not true. I do think there's a lot of dirty shit going on with the Israeli government. Why do we have AIPAC here telling our politician, like having a massive influence over our political system? If you start to look into it, it feels dirty, right? But for me to just unequivocally attach this Venezuelan overthrow to this, I don't have the data on it or the knowledge. Now, do we think we're just doing it because we're nice people and those people are oppressed and that wasn't fair to them? No. I think there definitely has to be other motivating factors other than that. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. But my whole point in bringing that up is there's a lot of people right here that need the Blackhawks to fucking send a team down a rope onto your rooftop and fucking snatch you up. There's a lot of motherfuckers right here that deserve that treatment. And we all know it. Everybody knows that. We're starting to see more and more people exposed for who they are. You know, like all the shit from COVID came out, no arrests. Oh, we said it didn't come from the lab because we wanted you dummies to believe it was from a pangolin that touched a bat and then they fell into a cup of soup or something. And when I said that on the fucking show, guys, 5 years ago, I had people saying like, oh yeah, like we're supposed to believe what just a meathead thinks. Are you a virologist? All that shit. And it's like, no, I can just think. It's a weird story for a virus that's literally on the other side of a wall. Everywhere on planet Earth, the place they found it, that it's literally being created on the other side of a wall. And then they found it on the other side of the wall. And when I said animals falling in soup sounds like a strange story, you're the big piece of shit. And half you motherfuckers out there bought into that bullshit too. Probably not listening to this show. And you made other Americans out to be the bad guy. Here we are, fucking 5 years later. Yeah, lab leak. That's most scientists now agree that it was likely a lab leak. And it's like, oh, what the fuck, dude? Like, hey, jiu-jitsu coach. Like, what the like, fuck, dude. And now we know that everybody lied through their teeth, through all of it, and no one's strung up yet. Like, fuck, man. Are we just let these people shit all over us constantly, and no one does anything. So we'll see where it goes. But I see the big movement of people saying, I'm not paying tax anymore. If you're one of those people, I commend you. I think that's fucking radical. But this is what I want to say to you. Do not fucking say that on Instagram until you're ready to lose your businesses, your livelihood, and your lives. And I'm not saying don't do it. Like, I'm pretty damn sure that's where I arrive at here very, very quickly. But I'm not going to put it out on Instagram or put it out on the podcast unless I'm ready to fucking die for it. Because they will send their fucking goons to deprive you of your fucking freedom for simply deciding you don't want to pay them 41% of your fucking earnings anymore. If you say no to giving 41% of your earnings, you go in a cage. So if you're ready to say no, that means you better be fucking ready to say fuck you at all levels. It's not, oh, hey, I said no, and then I got a nasty letter from the IRS that said, well, if you don't, we're going to do this. And that scared me. So I fucking took that meme down and sent my tax return in. Fuck you, dude. Everybody's sick of people that are just talk. So you're either in or you're out. And if you're in, you're fucking in. Period. Ripping the letters up, telling the goons to get off your fucking porch. And when they try and fucking take you away in handcuffs, they get taken away in handcuffs. If you're not ready to do that, don't post the meme on your Instagram. And it's why I'm not saying what I'm doing with my taxes this year. Because of a lot of moving parts. I'm going to be gone half of the fucking spring. I don't want to stir a bunch of shit. And then my wife and my daughters are fucking without me for a period of time. Like, I have to be fucking tactical in making sure if I commit to something, I'm present for it and I'm going to stand behind it. And that has to be, that's a big decision to make. I'm not saying don't make it. I'm saying ruminate on it. Talk to your family. Make sure it's the right call. And when you make that fucking call, that's it, dude. Your name is signed on the fucking dotted line of fuck you. And if enough people do it, we could starve them out. But here we go again. If we starve them out, what do? Well, they have the ability to print money. They'd probably starve us out with inflation. But guess what? That's how it goes, guys. That's the fucking process. There's an ebb and flow to how content Americans are. And I would say it's ebbed about as far as it fucking can from any level of fucking sanity. And people are at their fucking breaking point. I think this could be the year. I hope it's the year. But again, I got some big shit to do. And then when I get back, then we'll fucking figure out what's next. But in the meantime, we need to talk about this stuff. You know, I've tried to move away from fucking fixating on this shit all the time. And last week, I was just making weird noises with a couple of my friends. So we do it all here, right? But there is an enemy. There is truth to what's happening. And we have to be aware of that. And at a minimum, just keep our thumb on the pulse, even if it's a little bit, to understanding that these people are going to attempt to drag us into full fucking slavery. And if you're not aware of what's going on, it's gonna fuck. It's like the carpet's gonna get ripped out from underneath you. You're not even gonna know what happens. And then there's gonna be another percentage of you that perpetuated the carpet getting ripped out because you thought it's the right thing to do. And I just do whatever I'm told, and I get mad about whatever I'm told to get mad about. Yeah, like then we got that. But then the rest of us here, the rest of us are who are fucking gonna determine the outcome of all of this. So like I said, keep a finger on the pulse, give it a little bit of your energy, try and stay informed but not consumed, as I say. But sometimes you got to get fucking consumed because getting consumed fires you the fuck up. And sometimes getting fired up is good. Sometimes getting fired up brings a good energy and a good fucking like fuck you-ness to you. Sometimes men need that. We can't all be stoics. It's like, I'm not going to feel emotion. Cool. If you can be fucking stoic and not interject emotions into your warfare, good for you. But sometimes a fucking battle cry and getting fired up feels good too. All right, we're just rambling at this point. We're going to wrap it up. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week.